Hi folks, it's Mike with GetMyTips.com with a tip for you on how to make crispy oven-baked chicken. That's right, chicken that is so crispy it ought to be called oven-fried chicken. Anyhow, on this video we're going to show you how to take delicious chicken drumsticks, and we're going to use a process that's really going to bump up the flavor inside the chicken. Now, it does require a couple extra steps and a little bit of work, but in the end, the chicken is absolutely delicious. One quick note for those who subscribe to this channel looking for instant pot recipes or electric pressure cooker recipes, we have a new channel called Kitchen Tips Online, and we'll put a link to that channel in the video description. But on that channel, you're going to find a ton of instant pot recipes or electric pressure cookers. And by the way, for those folks who don't have an electric pressure cooker, you ought to get one. They are amazing. Okay, let's get started. We're going to bump the flavor up on this chicken by injecting the buttermilk and spice mix into the chicken. Doing so is really going to enhance the flavor. We're going to use half a cup of buttermilk and half a cup of water. Next, we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1/4 teaspoon of onion salt, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher or sea salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of MSG. And for those folks who are concerned about MSG, do yourself a favor and do a Google search for "Is MSG bad for me?" and check out what the Mayo Clinic has to say about it. Let's whisk everything together thoroughly so we won't have any problems with the injector. We are going to use a very inexpensive injector. And for those of you who don't have an injector and would like to purchase one, check out the affiliate link in the video description. Now notice how when we inject the chicken it plumps up. That means that all of that buttermilk and spice mix is enhancing the flavor inside the chicken. Once all the chicken is injected, we want to pour the balance of the injection liquid on top of it and then cover it up with buttermilk. We're going to put it in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour. But if you have the time, it's best to put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours or at least overnight. Okay, after the chicken comes out of the refrigerator, whether that's for 1 hour or 24 hours, the internal temperature of the chicken is going to be quite cold. Well, we need to bring that internal temperature of the chicken up before we can start to cook it. So before we put the breading on the chicken, we're going to preheat the oven to 150 degrees. Okay, now we can start making the coating for the chicken. We're going to use 1/2 cup of Panko breadcrumbs, 1/2 cup of Italian flavored breadcrumbs, and we're not going to put a lot of seasoning in this breading because these Italian breadcrumbs have a lot of seasoning in them. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Essentially what we're going to wind up here with is a ranch buttermilk flavored chicken. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of paprika. That's really going to give the chicken a nice color. If you don't use it, it looks kind of pale. And also we're going to add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then mix everything together and break up the lumps of the Parmesan cheese. Now, in our case, we're going to take a small sheet pan and cover it with aluminum foil. And we're going to use a wire rack. It's best to spray the wire rack with Pam or some sort of cooking spray so that the chicken doesn't stick. Now we can take our chicken and put the coating on it. It's not a bad idea to squeeze the coating with your hand onto the chicken. It is best to use a wire rack to elevate the chicken so that the hot air from the oven can circulate underneath. If you don't have one and you'd like to purchase one, check the video description for an affiliate link. Now, before we started breading the chicken, of course, we preheated the oven to 150 degrees. And we're going to put this chicken in the oven at 150 degrees with the oven turned off. This will warm up the internal temperature of the chicken. After 30 minutes, we want to remove the chicken from the oven and set the oven temperature to 375 degrees. Once it comes up to temperature, we're going to put the chicken in the oven for 60 minutes. When you remove the chicken from the oven, check and verify that the internal temperature is at least 165 degrees. Now let's zoom in here so you can have a close look at it. Now let's take a look at the recipe ingredients. Well, there you go, folks. Delicious oven-baked chicken that's practically fried chicken. Now we invite you to subscribe so that when we post another video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching.